My name is Crystal Campbell, and today I will be discussing the framework of ELA Standard Course of Study. The framework of ELA Standard Course of Study involves a strand. This then branches off to form two or more clusters. These clusters then break off to form anchor standards, and then finally grade level standards. With the organization of the ELA Standard Course of Study, there are four different strands. These strands are reading, writing, speaking and listening, and language. Reading breaks down to form three different sections, known as reading literature, reading informational, and reading foundational. From there, each section breaks down into clusters, except for reading foundational. They then break into anchor standards and then finally grade level standards. The reading foundational, however, breaks down into clusters and then grade level standards, skipping anchor standards. For the writing strand, it is broken down into two parts. Two types, text types, purposes, and publishing, and then research. Each of these then break down into clusters, anchor standards, and finally grade level standards. The speaking and listening strand is broken down into two parts, collaboration and communication, and presentation of knowledge and ideas. These parts then break down into clusters, which then break down to anchor standards and finally grade level standards. The last strand is language. This strand breaks down to form three parts: convention of standard English, knowledge of language, and lastly, vocabulary acquisition and use. These strands then break down into clusters, then anchor standards, and finally grade level standards. I will use many of the ELA Standard Course of Study resources in my classroom. I will use all four strands mentioned above, and with these resources, I will be better prepared, educated, and on my way to giving my students everything that they need to learn and develop. I believe that the ELA course of study is a great thing for teachers going into the field and out of the field, and even in the field right now to be able to look at. And I really enjoyed this. Thank you.